Okay, so yeah, I know we're supposed to be on lunch now, so if everybody can bear with us, stay in the room. Don't make us feel too bad. Just to start, we're here to take you through the why you should attend First Steps to Manager, but I'm going to actually do it and tell my story at the same time, and it'll make a little bit more sense as we go. Because before First Steps to Manager commence, everybody knows this book. It's in every one of your packs, but we don't use it. So before First Steps to Manager, we had Teach to Reach, whenever I joined 6.5 years ago. Teach to Reach, it was amazing. It was just a little bit behind in this, but it was still amazing. And I didn't use it. So I know a lot of people in the room won't be using this and don't really see the importance of it. So when I started 6.5 years ago, I was not looking for forever, did not want it in any shape or form. I thought it was sales. I used to work in a jeweller's and I had to leave because I couldn't sell anything. So I definitely was not into sales. But I was into natural health. As Gina, I think, said there earlier, that when you have a really bad health condition, it comes to a point that a lot of people, and more people now, are looking at alternative. They're not going down the medicine route anymore, and especially when it doesn't work. And that's the situation that I was in. So I'm going to be very compliant, and I'm not even going to go into details, but it ended with having part of my bowel removed. So I had a lot of serious health conditions that I had to leave work. And so I was at home. My background is in retail management as well. Before I had the kids, we have 3 kids. After I had the kids, when I went back to work, I went into a government job. So I was working full time. Jason was a detective at the time, but I'd been out of work for 2 years. So my health had really deteriorated, and there was just a lot of things going on. So I'm not here to depress you, so I'm not going to bother telling you. But there was a lot of crap going on in the life, or in our lives. And I was going around in tracksuits all the time. I had no interest in getting up and doing anything. I'd suffered severe depression as well at that point due to a lot of different issues. And when I came across Forever, it was only to buy products for cost price. Because with 1 wage coming into the house, 3 kids and a mortgage, we didn't have any spare cash. And I had decided that I wanted to work from home. I wanted something for me. Now, that might have only been 1 hour in the day. I didn't care, but I just wanted it for me. But I was unemployable. Because of my health condition, I spent most of my days on the bathroom floor. Jason had to take time out of work to look after the kids. So I could not have a job that I could say, yeah, I might do an hour on Thursday if I'm feeling okay, but if I can't work, that'll be all right. You know, I couldn't do that. But I did want something for me. Being a mum is fantastic, but I wanted something else. One of the challenges that I had was my brother dropped dead suddenly at age 39, 7 years ago, leaving 3 kids, including a 5-month-old baby. His wife would only go back to work if I looked after the baby. I still have that baby. He's coming 8, 3 days a week. So as well as my own kids, I wanted to do that for him. I wanted to help out. So I took on the baby. Tommy is his name. And so even though my own were at school, he wasn't. So I needed something that I could slot in and around. So I looked at it, and I had started working a lot on myself, a lot of personal development. And I decided I wanted to go into life coaching and things like that. So the courses I wanted to do were in London. They cost a lot of money, and I didn't have it. We didn't have that spare money. So I put it out there that I wanted something that was going to get me this money. But I didn't see it that it was Forever in any way. So when I came across Forever, I actually saw it at a show. And I went up and I said, what are these? I had no interest in aloe vera drinks because a lot of people had told me aloe vera is great for digestion. I'd actually been drinking aloe vera juice from the health shop for a full year. And nothing. I didn't feel anything. So I had no interest in drinking more aloe vera. But I was buying all my products from the health shop. So why not save money? That was it. I bought the starter pack, didn't ask any questions, just give me it. I'll put in an order every few months. That end of story. Never, ever any intention of selling anything, never mind building a business. But when my aloe vera juice ran out, I started drinking the aloe vera. Very long story short, it was incredible. And I couldn't stop talking about it. As Amy said there, I absolutely love listening to Amy about Facebook, and it's so true. If you don't take anything, if you only take one thing away from it today, no disrespect to any other speaker, please pay attention to Amy's training, because it damages all our businesses. It really, really does. Facebook is so crucial in it nowadays, and it does do a lot of damage, and it does affect us all. So absolutely fantastic training, Amy. But so I just kept talking about it too much to everybody. I got to manager in 14 weeks and hadn't a clue what I was doing. My manager, not my manager, well, he was my manager, yeah, Michael, he tried to help me, and it was great. I took what helped, but I didn't listen to him. So it was after I made manager. You know, we hear a lot and forever that there's a learning curve. We have to learn this business to be successful. Some people learn it before manager. So you hear a lot of people on stage that get to manager in a year, in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Well, you've your learning done. You'll fly after that if you want it. But I had my learning curve after I made manager because I did it so quick. The reason I did it quick, and the reason that I did when I saw the money coming in, was because my goals, I could then see that Forever could give me the money to go to London to do these courses. I never, ever saw the bigger picture in Forever. Never was for me long term. It was just, do you know what? I thought about 5,000 or 6,000 euro I needed to get me to cover these couple of courses that I wanted to do in London. So I thought, right, get the head down. And I did, but I attended everything. I had to drive an hour and a half to my BP every single week. People don't even go on a Skype call to go on a live, to go on a BP, or to go on a training nowadays. Well, that's just people. That's just people, okay? But I drove every single week, an hour and a half to my BP. I went every success day. I went to every trainings. I still didn't follow what was in the book. Why would I want somebody to tell me how to talk, what to say? I could talk. But I really, yeah, which one? Green. So I really did just fly with it, and I learned afterwards. So I am going to adapt this into the slides as we go, okay? What is the importance of first steps to manager? Right, I want everybody in the room to stand up who has attended one. No, sorry, who's attended any first steps to manager training? Good lot. Okay. Stay standing if you had attended 2 or more. Stay standing if you have attended 3 or more. Stay standing if you have attended 4 or more. Okay. So we're standing 2. Okay, we attended 4. Anybody attended 5? No, okay, 4. Okay, so yeah, I think this is why we were asked to do this. Now, I'm a manager over 6 years. Why would I need to attend a First Steps to Manager? Why would I need to attend a training to tell me how to get to manager? Because this has the simple principles that we need to get to manager and to build our businesses. Once you get to manager, a lot of people, when they get to manager, they think they've arrived. They don't go on to attend Eagle. They don't go on to attend or to achieve car plan or chairman's bonus or any of the extra benefits because they think they've arrived. And that's okay if that's what you want. But to me, it's only the start of what's to come. To me, I just think, you know, get to manager, just get it done on the road, and then start working. That's my attitude. But it's a structure for all you to learn and grow, and it's duplication. This is not a boss. You hear this in your business all the time. This business is not about being a boss and standing here and saying, do you know what? You need to go to your BP every week. You need to learn how to retail. You need to go to that product training. You need to go to that First Steps to Manager, but I'm a manager already. I don't need to go. Or I was at one there a few months ago. I don't need to go to another one. Yes, you do, because your team follows you. And if you don't go, your team will not go. So myself and Jason went to 3 of the same, and then he went to another one And I went to another one. So like we covered 5 between us, just because it doesn't suit on the times. We've kids. We have 3 kids as well. I have another business outside of this. So we do have things to be doing, and we all have things to be doing on Saturday. Today was a great excuse not to come with a hurricane. So fair play to you, all coming. So, what do you want? Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I know Neve and James are going about goals. But for me, it was that goal of getting to London to do the courses. That was it. I had no intention of going farther than that. But what did I do when I got the money? Well, I decided, sure, the courses are always going to be there. I had an extra 10 grand in 6 months. Is there too many people that actually have that in a job? 10 grand in 6 months? But I had made 10 grand in 6 months, between my retail profit and between my bonus. So, what I did was the very bottom, middle one down here. I decided, you know what? All our holidays used to always be to Spain, which is lovely, fantastic. I love the sun. Had to put a fake tan on me today, but I love sun. We've always had holidays, but they were cheap holidays, basic holidays, and it was just to get away. Going to Disney World, like in Florida, not Euro Disney, Florida. So I had 10 grand sitting there, and I thought, you know what, the courses will do. I was loving forever. I was getting excited. Team were getting excited. And we went to 2 weeks to Florida. We took the 3 kids with us. Not only that, my sister, whose husband had passed away, decided to bring the kids as well. And we all went for 2 weeks to Disney World in Florida. And then we stopped off in New York on the way back. My kids' first time in New York to visit my sister, and I met for the first time my 3-month-old godson, which I hadn't seen. And that wasn't even, before I joined Forever, 5-6 months before that, that wasn't even in my thinking. I couldn't go to New York. I couldn't have this holiday. Never mind go to Florida for 2 weeks and then stop over on the way back to have this trip with my sister. So when we come back, we carried on and we worked hard. And I decided that, I still wanted to do this course. That was my goal. That is my passion. And I knew I needed to do it, so I had to get the head down and work hard. Got the money together, and I headed off in June. And I did all my courses, and I set up my business in that. So people look at us, and this is what I want you to see. People look at us now, 6.5 years after starting the business. And Jason's going to tell his, but he does this full-time now. And they think it's okay for them. They hear that I did manager in 14 weeks. It's okay for her. There's 2 of them. The 2 of them are doing it full-time. There's nothing else going on. I've heard this. So you can step back 6.5 years and you see my life, how it was. It's a miracle that I got manager in 14 weeks. Jason wasn't doing the business. Jason had nothing to do with the business. He used the products because I told him to. They were in the house. I did the shopping. Well, I did the shopping whether it was from Forever or whether it was from SuperValue. I did the shopping. So he didn't ask what. He didn't ask if I changed from Palmolive to something else, Pantene. I don't even know any other brands at this point. But he never asked questions, so why would he ask again? So, he used the products, but that was it. He had no interest in the business, but he did look after the kids when I wanted. He did, support me and help me so that I didn't feel guilty as much by leaving the kids. So we did put in the time and effort. So back in that, we were slotting around. Jason was working 60, 70 hours a week. We had 3 kids. I had my 5-month-old baby nephew as well for these Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I had a lot of issues. So I slotted it in every single nook and cranny, whether I actually started getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get up to 7:30 normally. The kids woke and it was like, oh. I jumped out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, even if it was just to get the clothes done, to get the dinner prepared, so I was able to make phone calls when the kids were at school or when the baby was asleep. So we all have the same time, and it all stems down to what you want. Okay, so Jason's going to take you through a part of what is actually covered in this book, not even opening it. The only point is that it's in your pack. You've all got one. Start using it. It's also on PDF for any of your teams around the world. You're using on Skype or whatever else that don't have them in other countries. Use it. Okay, so.
Thanks, Louise. Yeah, so very quickly, she did the business for the first while, and then I went to a manager's retreat in Wales and was blown away by what I seen there. Firstly, the size of the company, what was available to be earned flexibly, and also that there was lots of men involved. Previous to that, I thought it was a woman's business. And I know, looking around the room here, there's probably a lot more women than men, and that's something we need to change, I think. So in your recruitment, try and target more. Am I cracking like Bob, yeah? Mm-hmm. In your recruitment, try and focus on more men. Try and get more men here. Try and get more men on the stage. Try and get more men, your husbands, here. Let them see the opportunity, and they might give you more support, and they might join. So maybe just take that away. Get more men involved, because it's 50% of the population. Why are we ignoring them, all right? But anyway, go to your events, and that's what I mean. Come to the events, because that's where you get inspired. It doesn't really matter what me or Amy or anybody says. It's really about what you hear and the stories, and Gina, and those inspirational stories. And it's the same with the first steps to manager. Get to the first steps to manager. You'll get the skills, you'll hear the stories, you'll be inspired to do more. But you'll also learn the skills and what the basics. So you learn things about case credits, about CCs, the basics of our business. That's what it's all built on. And another thing we all need to focus on is 4 CCs. You know, if you can get yourself 4cc active, then you're confident to be able to teach people how to be 4cc active. And that's what we, you know, if you're a team builder, that's what you need to be doing anyway. Building an army of people who are passionate about the products and want to be 4cc active. And that will build you a successful, sustainable business. So you'll hear about what the case credits are, how to be 4cc active, whether it's using the products, selling the products to customers, or recruitment as well. And we'll take you through that cycle. I'm going to flick through these kind of quick because time, I know you're hungry. We'll talk about recruitment and finding your first 5 key people in the business. What is your first 5 key people? It's not the first 5 people you come into your head, and when you ring them, they say no, or they tell you you're off your head, because that's going to happen. Believe you me, if you're new in the business, be prepared for that. Be ready for that, and that's okay, because it's not for everybody. As Louise says, not everybody likes Guinness, so don't force it down their throat. But the 5 key people are basically, when you build a team, is to who are the people who will emerge in your team as leaders? Who are the people who go for supervisor, maybe manager, maybe chairman's bonus legs? And don't expect that to happen in your first 6 months in the business, maybe even first 6 years. I mean, if you have your 5 key people in your business, you're basically on Natalie Healy's scale, because 3 of them or you'd actually be, no, she's got 6 key people, level 3 chairman's bonus, but you're at level 2 chairman's bonus. That's about 5 key people. So, you know, you'll find out what type of people they are, the positive people, the inspirational people, the outgoing people. And we teach you about how that comes about and how you find those people. So we talked about using the products. Become your own best customer, we teach about that. We talk about showcasing the products. Amy talked about social media there, but there's other ways as well. Business and product launches. Kira and Natalie did a product launch last night, but they also did a home business launch as well. So they combined the two. Marketing, sports and fitness. We teach you all about the many, many different ways of marketing your products. Because at the end of the day, this business, sometimes, you know, if we're into team building, we get a little bit too focused on the recruitment end of things. At the end of the day, it's about moving product. It's about building a team that move products as well, but it's all based around moving products. So this is really, really crucial, and we teach you all about this. And you're going to learn from experts. You know, experts who've done it. They're all managers that train at this. They're all VIPs and Eagle managers that do these trainings. And you need to learn from those people. And it's not just about, you know, it's something different as well. You know, you're going to your same BP every week, and as fantastic a people those people are, it's nice to hear different voices. And that's what Success Day is about, and that's what the first steps to manager is about as well. Finding those new stories. Gina or Amy might be telling the exact same thing that I tell at a training at my local BP. And then one of my team would say, oh, that was amazing what Amy said. Yeah, I was telling you that for the last 6 years. You know what I mean? Amy just might have said it in a better way. So we learn about the products and how to showcase the products. We talk about business launches and product launches, how to invite people to those product launches. It's just simple skills. This is a simple business, but the simple skills you need to learn. You know, that phone call to invite somebody along to your product launch. It's very, very important you get that fairly right. It's a 90-second phone call. It's not difficult. The only thing that's making it difficult is your head and what you believe in yourself. So that goes back to self-belief, but it's also about that small little skill of how to make the phone call, the structure of that phone call, the length of that phone call. We teach you all about that. Teach you about how to do a launch and how the process of the launch is and how it should go to do a professional launch. We talk about building a team and the cycle of that, all focused around your why. Several speakers have already talked about the why. I'd say even James is going to speak about it in a little while with goal setting. But it's about creating a who do you know list. Very, very important. Take anything from today or anything from your first steps to manager trainings. Who do you know list is so, so vital. How are you going to build a business if you've nobody to talk to? Don't try and think about who am I going to talk to today. You just open your who do you know list. So create it. Create it big, huge. You know loads of people. Use your memory jogger that's in the First Steps to Manager booklet that'll help you create a huge who do you know list, and then try to add to it every day. And we teach you about that and about how we use that who do you know list on a consistent basis, contacting people, whether by phone call or possibly messenger, and how we show them the business. Are we inviting them to a BP? Are we having a one-to-one? Are we having a Skype one-to-one? Perhaps bringing them to a business presentation. And then it's a cycle of some of those people joining your business and then taking action, setting their goals, having their planning meetings, introducing them to the local BP, the First Steps to Manager training. Again, a duplicatable system. And then it's back to your who do you know list every day. So it's going through that cycle, and we teach you about that. These trainings are laid on by the company. They're not free, but they're cheap. I think it's €10 to go. And believe you me, it's better when you're paying for something because you appreciate it. If it was free, less people would probably turn up. Do you ever notice that? You sign up for a free webinar and you never attend it? We all do it. Emails coming in left, right and centre from people we don't even know we signed up for webinars because it was free. If you had to pay even €10 to attend the webinar, you might attend it. So it's cheap, but it's valuable. Very, very valuable. You have to go to these things to build your business. Do not think you'll build this business at home in your kitchen. It's a home-based business, but it's a very lonely place, especially when 2 or 3 people are saying no to you. You need to be in this room at Success Day, your local BP and your First Steps to Manager training and your local sizzles, to get that inspiration, to get that feeling that you're not alone and that, people are experiencing the same issues as you, the challenges that you, but also to see that, that sense of belonging to something. And First Steps to Manager is a bigger version of that, and you really, really need to be going along to them. So we talk also about profiling people and getting your who do you know list and taking people from that who do you know list and creating a profile on those people. And then basically the profile is who are they, what's their age, what's their interest, what kids have they, and what's their hot button, that kind of thing. And creating a sheet and putting it into what we know as your 1 to 31 folder. We teach you all about that. If some of these ideas are strange to you or you've never heard of them, 1 to 31 folders, just ask your upline manager about them because they're crucial for your follow-up. I heard Natalie tell a great story about one of her strongest lines, Tina Gillies. She asked her 20 times, Natalie, I think. Why? Because she had a system of follow-up. She didn't ring her 20 times over a period of 2 years randomly because it came into her head. She had a system. We teach you about that system. So, making the phone calls. I'm going to hand you back to Louise because Louise likes talking. So, phone calls are all about talking. So I think she's best qualified to talk about that. So,
Thanks. Jason. Okay, so, did I shout really loud, did I? Okay. The thing of the phone calls, and that's why I like talking about the phone calls, because I don't like them. But at the start, I did not see why I would need a script. Why would somebody need to tell me how to talk? I can talk. I've been talking since I was 1. Why would I need to be taught how to talk? So in your Steps to Manager book, you have a script. And when you read it out, of course, it sounds scripted. If you're sitting there going, blah, 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 of course it sounds scripting. You need to learn them off. You need to go back to school, and you need to learn them off by heart. And the importance of that is that you can adapt it to each individual. That you're not going to say these exact phrases in turn. You don't go down through your who do you know list and say, well, number 1, there's that, there's this, there's this. It's by learning these off, they're inside you, and when you're speaking to people, you will be able to adapt the conversation from your script to that person, to the situation, right? So it is really not to tell you what to say, it's telling you what not to say. Now again, I did this all wrong. My launch, the way I was bamboozled into having a launch, I would never have anybody in my house. Apart from family, I'd been at home for 2 years. As I said, a lot of issues. I did not want people in my house. I've never attended a party, so I had no interest in going. I was so unsociable. Again, that's another thing. People think that we speak now, that we're standing up, and to be quite honest, it just doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. I've done bigger talks than this. It doesn't bother me at all. But back 6.5 years ago, unless I was full of Bacardi, I wouldn't have spoken to 2 people. That's true, but people don't see that. This is from forever, working on yourself all the time, bit by bit, tapping the backs. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this, that this actually doesn't bother me at all anymore. Gina was asking me for royal jelly, and I was like, well, back whenever I was doing my lifestyle slot many years ago, I had probably a bottle on me. No, I don't even have them with me. So the thing is that you learn how to talk, but back then, I did not want people coming to my house. So I didn't follow the script on how to invite people for a launch. And how I was made to have a launch is because I wanted to know what the products did. And my sponsor said, okay, he lived 2 hours away from me. I hadn't known him before forever. And he said, I'll come and talk to you. I'll come over and I'll show you the products and I'll go through them. And I said, great. But only if you get a few people. And I was like, what? I'm not getting people. And he said, but sure, if you want to hear about them, maybe some of your family and friends want to hear about them as well. Now, my family and friends were not into health. They weren't into natural. I was, and I knew they weren't. So how I invited people was, listen, there's somebody coming over to a talk on some flipping aloe vera. Go on, come. That was it. I don't know why I was surprised on the night that nobody showed up. But I actually was. I was shocked that nobody showed up because I thought I've invited them for something. So I phoned. I said I couldn't really phone friends. They've already made their decision. They weren't coming. But I phoned 2 of my sisters and 3 sister-in-laws. I have a big family. People think as well, I've been so successful because of a big family. That just means that I have 12 brothers and sisters to tell me how stupid I am and how crazy I am. That's all that means. My father started using the products 3 months ago. Like, it's ridiculous, okay? But anyway, so I phoned my 2 sisters and 3 sister-in-laws, and I says, get your flipping bums over here now. I said, if you were having something in your house, I would support you. I says, get over here. No, I'm so tired of working all day. I'm not coming out. It's raining. And I said, I don't care. He says, I'm skint. I'm not interested in that. I don't want to buy anything. I said, did I ask you to buy anything? I asked you to come and hear this talk. I don't want to sit in like a pleb on my own, listening to these 2 people. Like a couple were traveling 2 hours, getting a babysitter, and traveling 2 hours to do a talk for me, and nobody been there. I think Billy no mates. So they came very, very resiliently. They came. And on that night, between the 5 of these that told me they were skint, were not interested in any natural products, any health products, nothing, they bought €600 between them. And 2 of them ended up signing into business and became supervisors. So I still say that nobody showed to my launch. They didn't. But I had to ring them afterwards, and I think that's where we don't. These were my sisters, my sister-in-laws, my friends. Why could I not lift the phone and say, get your flipping bums down here right now? Seriously. Why could I not do that? These were people close to me. People say they need to redecorate the house when they're having a launch. Do your family never visit you? Like, do you seriously not have anybody come through your door? Why would you need to paint your room? So, the likes of the talks, it is not what to say. We are not trying to tell you what to say. We're trying to teach you what not to say. And again, as Jason mentioned there, maybe if you hear this over and over and over again, it may sink in. Okay? That's what the script is, and I think it's so, so important to talk about it. Jason spoke about the memory jogger. Again, if you don't follow the memory, if you don't have a who do you know list, if you don't use the memory jogger, well, you're going to be sitting with these first 20 people that popped into your head straight away. It is absolutely crucial. Now, these are just some of the photographs that we took of some of our team members when we were at a couple of the events. Kilkenny was absolutely fantastic. We were delighted that Aileen, I don't know if she's here, Aileen had asked us to speak at the Kilkenny. I'd never been to Kilkenny in my life. I actually had to have a babysitter. I had to drive my kids to Mayo because my family was having a family occasion that I did not show up to because I'd been already asked to do this. Two of my team members actually went from Wexford to this, but it wasn't that. I know it's important. Aileen had asked me to do it, and I said I'd do it. It was later that this family meal was organised. My sister was home from literally, it was since my brother passed away 7 years ago, this was the first time my family were together. And I missed it because of a First Steps to Manager, and that was my third First Steps to Manager. It wasn't relevant that I was speaking at it. I wanted to learn. Patty and Pauline were speaking at it. Aileen was speaking at it. Why would I not want to hear from them? Patty and Pauline, top distributors for years in Ireland. Why would I not want to hear from them? Why would I want to get these tips? Up here, the fabulous Jill and Lorna travelled down from Belfast and helped us with our one in, that we did in Derry. Don't even know where these ones are. Dublin as well. And you know, you speak about friends in this, and we're over time, so I'm going to finish up. I know everybody's hungry, but actually, I had done up these slides 2 weeks ago. And one of my very, very good friends, who's on 2 of these photographs, we buried her last weekend, and she had a massive brain hemorrhage at her exercise class. So today's not a good day. This is her first. She's actually an FBO as well, and but she was a good friend anyway. And so it's tough being here without her today. I actually forgot the photographs were done. But why would you not want to hear from all these people? Amy O'Mara, absolutely fantastic training here, but she did something very similar at the First Steps to Manager in Dublin. Niamh and James, Marianne Fitzgerald. I can't even remember. We went to Belfast. Ciara did it. Jill, Carol Keys. We've heard all these leaders that we don't listen to. We're in Donegal, not that we don't listen to, we don't get the chance to listen to all the times. We're up in Donegal, stuck on our own. Nobody wants to go to Donegal. Oh. So it's hard for us to hear, and we're always learning. Patty and Pauline Keegan did their very first live video training into our team page there a couple of weeks ago. They're in the business, they're network marketing 40 years, and they're still learning, right? Because you're asked, and why not? Once you stop learning, this business is going to go. Every area of your life is going to drop. So keep learning. So that's us finished. Thank you very, very much.